The moment doesn't announce itself with noise. There's no roar, no flash, no highlight clip looping on social media.
David Raya. He's been at the club for a while now, and
It arrives quietly, almost invisibly, when a football match stops feeling chaotic and starts feeling controlled. When panic never shows up. When danger fades before it even forms. That's when you realize something unsettling is happening. Because somewhere on the pitch, a goalkeeper is no longer just saving shots. He's deciding how the game breathes. And the Premier League hasn't fully caught up to it yet. Last season, while attention drifted toward goals, assists, and viral moments, something else was being built in plain sight. A player most people still judge by clean sheets alone was quietly reshaping the logic of elite football.
Johnson, what a save by Raya! Terrific hands!
David Raya didn't explode onto the scene with spectacle. He didn't chase applause. He did something far more dangerous. He removed uncertainty. Week after week, Arsenal games felt calmer. Leads felt safer. Pressure moments felt shorter. Not because chances weren't coming, but because they were being erased before they could become real. This wasn't a run of form. This was control disguised as normality. Numbers told part of the story. Clean sheets. Low goals conceded. High pass volume. But statistics alone can't explain why opponents looked hesitant, why pressing traps stopped working, why Arsenal's backline stepped higher with confidence that bordered on arrogance. To understand that, you have to look deeper. You have to trace the path of a goalkeeper who never followed the traditional script, who learned football in tight spaces before big stadiums, who survived leagues where survival mattered more than style, and who arrived at Arsenal not to replace someone.
David, welcome to the Arsenal.
Thank you.
How excited are you to be here?
Over the moon to...
But to complete something. If you're enjoying this deeper side of football, make sure you're subscribed. This is the kind of story we tell here. David Raya was born in Barcelona in 1995, but his football education didn't resemble the typical Spanish goalkeeper pathway. Before he was judged on reflexes or reach, he was shaped by futsal. Tight courts, constant pressure, decisions that had to be made instantly or not at all. In those spaces, hesitation was punished. Comfort on the ball wasn't a luxury, it was survival. Long before analysts praised his distribution, that instinct was already wired into him. At 16, Raya made a choice that quietly defined his career. He left Spain for England, joining Blackburn Rovers in 2012. No spotlight followed him, no guarantees came with the move, just cold training grounds, physical football, and a language he was still learning. For years, progress was slow. Loans to non-league Southport, long spells on the bench. Across 2 full seasons, he managed just 13 first-team appearances. For many players, that's where belief fades. For Raya, it became foundation. When Blackburn were relegated to League One in 2017, opportunity finally arrived. Raya became the #1, playing 47 matches in the 2017-18 season and helping drive the club straight back up. The following year, he played 46 more games. No drama, no noise, just reliability. By the time he left Blackburn in 2019, he had over 100 senior appearances, not as a prodigy, but as a goalkeeper who earned everything through repetition and resilience. That consistency caught Brentford's attention. They signed him for around £3 million, and what looked like a sensible step up quickly became something else entirely. Under Thomas Frank, Brentford weren't just building a team, they were building an idea, and Raya fit it perfectly. From his first season, it was clear he wasn't there just to stop shots. He was there to shape matches. In the 2019-20 season, Raya played 49 matches, kept 16 league clean sheets, and shared the championship Golden Glove. But the real shift was tactical. Brentford played through him. Short passes to invite pressure, long balls with purpose, not panic. Every decision designed to control space, not escape it. The following season amplified that responsibility. Despite early uncertainty and transfer speculation, Raya returned, signed a new deal, captained cup matches, and delivered 48 appearances, 17 clean sheets, and promotion to the Premier League. By then, the pattern was clear. Brentford didn't just trust him, they depended on him. He attempted more passes than any other goalkeeper in the championship, by a wide margin. This wasn't coincidence, It was identity. The Premier League tested him immediately. An injury interrupted his first top-flight season, but when Raya returned, he didn't retreat. He absorbed pressure. By the 2022-23 season, Brentford didn't dominate possession. They defended long spells. Raya faced volume and chaos, and he thrived. He led the league in total saves and save percentage, becoming the only goalkeeper since records began to top both categories in the same campaign. This wasn't showmanship, it was efficiency under stress. By the time Arsenal moved for him in 2023, the decision wasn't about replacing a goalkeeper. It was about upgrading the foundation. The scrutiny was instant. Why change something that looks settled? Why invite controversy? Raya answered without words. Clean sheets in the league in Europe. 2 penalties saved in a Champions League shootout against Porto. Arsenal's deepest European run in over a decade. By the end of the season, the debate was over. Golden Glove winner, PFA Team of the Year, certainty replaced noise. The following season removed any remaining doubt. 38 league matches, 34 goals conceded, 13 clean sheets, over 1,200 completed passes. More than 500 long balls, all chosen with intent. Arsenal didn't just defend better. They looked calmer, harder to unsettle. When the club handed Raya the #1 shirt permanently, it wasn't about rotation or form, it was ownership. And that set the stage for what's happening now. This season isn't about adaptation or proof, it's about authority. Through 19 league games, Raya has conceded just 12 goals and kept 9 clean sheets. On paper, elite numbers. But the real story is what isn't happening. He has made just 31 saves. Not because he's underperforming, but because danger rarely materializes. The modern goalkeeper isn't judged by how many shots he stops, but by how many never occur. Raya lives in that space. Arsenal defend higher now, not recklessly, but confidently. Through balls are anticipated early. Crosses are claimed before attackers can set. Second balls are neutralized before chaos forms. These moments don't trend online, but they erase entire phases of opposition play. Raya's positioning does the heavy lifting. His decisions arrive before panic ever has a chance. On the ball, his influence is even clearer. Over 500 passes already, long balls chosen to flip pressure rather than relieve it. Arsenal don't clear their lines. They select exits. When opponents press, Raya slows the game, draws them forward, then releases one pass that breaks the press entirely. When space opens, he exploits it instantly. Opponents are forced to choose between pressing and being bypassed or sitting deep and surrendering control. Either way, Arsenal dictate terms. His discipline reinforces the picture. 1 yellow card all season. No reckless challenges. No emergency fouls. Raya rarely scrambles because his positioning removes the need to scramble. He arrives early, reads quickly, chooses safety without sacrificing ambition. In Europe, the same pattern holds. Clean sheets, high involvement, touches that matter. Arsenal's control doesn't start in midfield. It starts the moment the ball reaches Raya's feet. Defenders step out with confidence. Midfielders take risks knowing transitions are covered. Fullbacks push higher because recovery space is managed. Raya doesn't stand behind the system, he completes it. This isn't a goalkeeper on a hot run, it's a player reducing uncertainty across 90 minutes. The quieter his nights look, the more dominant Arsenal feel. And that's why this season matters more than trophies or awards. Because once a goalkeeper reaches this level of influence, opponents aren't just playing against 11 players, they're playing against decisions already made. Not all saves look spectacular. Some arrive when a season tilts, when pressure peaks and margins vanish. Raya's campaign is built on those moments, but they don't exist in isolation. They're consequences of structure. Arsenal defend aggressively because they trust what's behind them. Set pieces are managed with clarity. Crosses are claimed with purpose. Hesitation disappears because everyone knows the plan. Even when Arsenal lead narrowly, Raya never switches off. Shots are faced already set. Angles are closed early. The emotional swing never comes. That's control. That's experience meeting system. When people talk about goalkeepers, they still chase reflexes and highlights. David Raya has moved beyond that conversation. At Arsenal, he's become the constant, the calming force. The reason matches feel shorter, safer, inevitable. And that's the warning for everyone else. This isn't form, it isn't hype. It's a goalkeeper operating at a level where games bend around his decisions. The scariest part of David Raya isn't what he's done so far. It's how normal he's making it all feel. Do you think David Raya is the most influential goalkeeper in the Premier League right now? Let me know in the comments. And when something extraordinary starts to feel ordinary, that's when it becomes truly dangerous for everyone else. Because habits are hard to break, and Arsenal have formed one around David Raya. Every week, the same patterns repeat, the same calm under pressure, the same quiet authority, the same absence of chaos. Opponents prepare for Arsenal knowing they must be perfect to score, because chances are rare, and mistakes are punished before they're even recognized as mistakes. What separates Raya now isn't talent alone, but memory. He remembers League One pitches where one error meant weeks of doubt. He remembers championship seasons where volume never stopped. He remembers Premier League nights where survival demanded constant focus. All of that lives inside his decision-making. That's why there's no panic when the ball rolls back to him under pressure. No rush when the press closes in. No emotion when a mistake almost happens. He's already lived those moments. He's already solved them. This version of Raya doesn't chase glory because he understands something deeper. Goalkeepers don't need to dominate moments. They need to eliminate them. The best games of his season won't be remembered for saves because nothing dramatic happened. Arsenal controlled territory, tempo, and transitions, and the opposition slowly ran out of ideas. That's not luck. That's repetition, trust, and design. Watch Arsenal late in matches now. The ball moves back to Raya and the stadium breathes. Teammates spread wide. Opponents hesitate, press or drop, commit or retreat. That hesitation is the advantage. It buys seconds. Seconds turn into structure, structure turns into control, and control wins matches long before the final whistle. There's also a psychological layer that numbers can't capture. For attackers, facing a goalkeeper like Raya changes behavior. Shots are delayed, decisions are rushed. The perfect moment never quite arrives, because the space they're aiming for is already covered. The angle they want is already gone. Raya doesn't just react to attackers, he forces them to react to him. This is where Arsenal's title ambitions quietly strengthen. Over a season, chaos drains teams. Emotional games cost points. Late collapses decide races. Raya removes those variables. He shortens matches without slowing them. He protects leads without retreating. He allows aggression without recklessness. That balance is rare, and it's why elite teams are built from the back outward. The irony is that the better Raya becomes, the less visible he is. No viral moments, no weekly debates. Just consistency that fades into expectation. And expectation is power, because when calm becomes the standard, anything else feels unacceptable. This is no longer about whether David Raya is one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. That conversation has already passed. The real question is how many teams are prepared to face a side whose goalkeeper controls the match before it even begins. Because systems can be pressed, defenders can be dragged out, midfields can be overloaded. But when the last line of defense is also the first line of control, the margin for error disappears. David Raya didn't arrive at Arsenal to make headlines. He arrived to stabilize them. And now, match by match, he's turning stability into dominance. Not loudly, not dramatically, just relentlessly. The Premier League will eventually catch up. Analysts will circle the data. Opponents will adjust. But by the time they do, Arsenal will already be playing at a rhythm shaped by one man standing calmly in his 6-yard box, watching the game unfold exactly as he wants it to. Because the most powerful presence on the pitch isn't always the one scoring goals. Sometimes it's the one making sure they're never needed.